We have a packed show here today on Spin Room. The House just passed the big beautiful bill so it can be sent to President Trump's desk. And we're also heading to the southern border to talk about how the bill will affect border security. That's all coming up. Team coverage here today on Spin Room. Thanks for joining us. I'm Vanessa Broussard. We start with Allison Steinberg live in Washington, D.C. at the Capitol with this breaking news. Allison, what's the latest?
Yes, Vanessa, well, as you touched on, the One Big Beautiful Bill did just pass here moments ago on the Capitol. It's been a very exciting, event-filled day here. It was a 218 to 212 vote. There were two Republican nay votes. Those were Thomas Massie of Kentucky and Warren Davidson of Ohio. They voted no, along with every Democrat in the House, not shockingly. So it's been a really interesting journey, Vanessa. I've been following this very closely as it's developed quite a bit over the past few weeks. There's been a lot of ebb and flow within this this bill. Of course, you know, when it passed the House by a very slim majority, it went on to the Senate. There were a lot of concessions made in the Senate, lots of changes made, and unfortunately, some things that are in this bill, like Medicaid for illegals. There's some transgender surgery stuff that got stuck in there. I believe also it added to the debt by $1 trillion. So there are some negatives in this bill, I'm going to be honest, but I think the positives outweigh the negatives, and I think that was reflected in the yes vote today by the overwhelming majority of the House Republicans. Of course, as we know, this bill is going to extend Trump's 2017 tax cuts and also, you know, take away taxes on tips, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. And it's going to give massive funding for the border wall to finish the wall and increase border security measures and deportation measures. So there is a lot of really good stuff in this bill. As we know, President Trump has stood firmly behind this the whole time, really working hard to rally the troops to get everyone together to vote yes to pass the big, beautiful bill. He's done a lot of really hard work in just the past 24 hours because as of last night, there were actually 10 Republican holdouts, many from the House Freedom Caucus, that were saying they were not going to vote for the bill. They were very upset about the fiscal aspect of it, namely Congressman Ralph Norman, who I actually just had the opportunity to speak with here a little bit ago, who was now very happy. He said after he met with President Trump, he was reassured and, you know, he is now feeling positive that we are going to have a separate bill down the line that addresses some of the debt and fiscal issues that were a problem for him and the 9 others. So the 10 Republicans total that were holdouts, all seemingly flipped within the last 24 hours because of these talks with President Trump. So he did a great job rallying the troops up. Speaker Johnson did a great job as well. And of course, this came after a daunting 9-hour speech from Hakeem Jeffries, who took his magic minute, took a little bit of advantage there, went on, droned on for 9 hours, setting a record for the longest House speech in history. So it's been a very interesting morning. He, of course, tried to do that to delay this inevitable yes vote for the big, beautiful bill. But obviously his tactics didn't work. It was a total waste of his time. No one cared what he had to say. And the bill is now passed and moving on to the president's desk to be signed tomorrow on July 4th. So beautiful timing and great work by the Republicans here on the Hill.
It is beautiful timing with Independence Day, as you just mentioned, and also the big rally tonight that the president is hosting in Des Moines, Iowa. I'm sure that's going to be a lot of talk of his speech tonight in front of the thousands who will be there to rally with the president. We'll talk more about that rally here in a little bit, but there's the information right there. We will have coverage at 3 p.m. Eastern time on LindellTV.com and on Vocal. So again, a great day for the Republicans, for the MAGA movement, and for President Trump, who wanted Independence Day to be the deadline for this to get done, and they got it done, Allison.
That's correct. They sure did. And I think it's going to just be an even more exciting 4th of July now. You know, we already have President Trump in office, and now we have the big, beautiful bill to be signed. What an incredible way to commemorate this special day. So it's going to be really awesome. I did have this clip I wanted to play from Mike Johnson. I thought this was hilarious. He sort of poked some fun at Hakeem Jeffries for going on and on. I was listening to Hakeem Jeffries this morning. It was hilarious. He got so caught up in his own words. He, you know, even got to the point where he was stating things that were in favor of the bill, like things that were reasons to vote for the bill. Like, don't you guys understand this is going to fund the greatest deportation effort in history? Don't you understand this is going to increase border security by the masses? Don't you understand? He's listing all these things that he was trying to spin as a negative, but these are obviously all positives. JD Vance even made fun of it and said after hearing this, I had a couple guys that were holding out. They were going to be no votes. After hearing Hakeem Jeffries drone on so long, I'm actually voting yes. So maybe Hakeem Jeffries actually helped to get this yes vote along. But anyway, here's a clip of Mike Johnson poking fun at Hakeem Jeffries. Take a listen.
I thank the gentleman from Missouri. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ronald Reagan said one time that no speech should be longer than 20 minutes, and unlike the Democrat leader, I'm going to honor my colleague's time and be a little more brief than that, all right?
He's a jokester. I like it. He's funny. Yeah, I think everyone's very upset with Hakeem Jeffries for going on for so long. I asked Congressman Ralph Norman when he stopped by moments ago if they're required to sit in on that, and he said, absolutely not. If I would have had to have done that, I would have fallen asleep. So I guess only the Democrats entertained his ridiculous shenanigans. But it's funny to look back now and make fun of that. That will forever live on in our history here on Capitol Hill. And Mike Johnson just having a great time poking fun at that as we now get to celebrate the passing of the One Big Beautiful Bill. So very exciting day here in Washington, D.C.
There are some cons to the bill that stayed inside, but I think the biggest wins are the tax cuts for all of Americans, the no tax on tips and Social Security. I know some elderly people who have been waiting on that, and they're really excited about that. They earned it, Allison. They deserve it.
Yeah, they sure do. And so do all the hardworking Americans that do depend on, tips for their jobs and their income. It's huge. I used to work in the service industry and relied heavily on tips. So the fact that those aren't being taxed now is huge, in the words of President Trump. And I think it's going to be a great thing. Hopefully it wakes more people up to the reality that we need to keep conservatives in office. We need to vote Republican in elections. As we see in New York currently, there's a communist who has a very good chance of becoming mayor. So I hope this passing of the One Big Beautiful Bill inspires people to get active and really learn about what's happening in the country right now. We can never let this slip away and let a communist get into a position of power. Otherwise, it's all downhill from there. So hopefully this passing of the One Big Beautiful Bill helps to keep that from happening and keep that trend from continuing. It would be devastating for our country.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Perfect day to bring that up. So good job for reminding everyone that the midterms are coming up. And this is a prime example of what would happen if we didn't have control of the House or the Senate. This bill would not have passed. So it's so important to people to get involved. And just because President Trump is not on the ballot or it's not a presidential election year, 2026 is right around the corner. So we need to make sure these MAGA conservative congressmen and women remain in their seats to get these important bills passed.
That's absolutely right. It's crucial. And I think President Trump is going to do a great job of ensuring that that happens, because we've heard a lot from President Trump regarding Thomas Massie this past week or so. As we know, Thomas Massie was going to be an inevitable holdout. He did indeed vote nay on the Big Beautiful Bill today. And so now, when you go against President Trump and the America First agenda, I guess you're going to run the risk of being primaried, because that is what I'm hearing now from President Trump. He's saying that this is a very real threat coming for Massie. So, but then of course we have Elon Musk entering the chat now, who is going to fund Massie's next election. So I don't know, things are a mess, but people have got to get involved. You got to, make your voice be heard. And I mean, we got a taste of it under Joe Biden, right? We got a taste of what communism would look like. That wasn't even the worst of it. Imagine another 4 years of that. It would have been devastating. I don't even know if we'd have a country anymore. So everyone get involved. Everyone pay attention. It's so important. I know sometimes politics seems boring and daunting, but we really have so much more control and power than we think. So I just encourage everyone to reflect on America for who she is, all that she was founded upon as we approach July 4th. And, do your part, fulfill your civic duty, and get involved, be a part of the change.
I agree. Sounds good. A great day there at the Capitol. Allison, thank you so much for that report. And we'll check back in with you on the Mike Lindell Show coming up in about half an hour. So stick around there and see. I'm sure there's a lot of Republicans celebrating right now.
Yes, indeed. There sure are. The parties are going to be popping off tonight.
All right. Thank you, Allison. Well, the bill will provide an extra $150 billion to border security. Someone who knows the southern border all too well is Anthony Aguero. Anthony is joining us today. Anthony, thanks so much for coming on. Good to see you. You see this firsthand on a daily basis, just how terrible things are at the border. I think Americans know, but we don't see it with our eyes like you do. So what can you tell us about the crossings and also the carnage that you see every single day? I think we're having some audio issues with Anthony. We're trying to get that situated right now, but he is going to join us to talk about money being invested in these particular areas of the southern border. He's visited a shrine at the border, a crematorium where bodies are stacked up. All of this he sees. And again, like I just mentioned, we hear about border crossings all the time. President Trump hits on it so much about how these people who are coming over, most are criminals, and they commit murders and sexual assaults. And again, Anthony, I think we have you fixed now. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me, and I want to wish you and your audience a happy 4th of July. Now that this bill has finally passed, this bill actually puts aside $46.5 billion for border security for some of the border wall construction, which is going to be needed. Out here in the El Paso sector alone, they're going to be constructing up to 1.5 miles on a very notorious area right next to Ciudad Juarez. What we are seeing right now on the screen is a clandestine crematorium that was just discovered last week, which is why it was so important, in which they found right under 400 bodies, decapitated heads, and a bunch of other body parts in there, which is why it's so important for our border security. This is right at the doorstep of our country. And now with this massive bill passing, the National Guard, the Army that's actually out there with Border Patrol, this is actually an area where massive crossings were occurring on a daily basis. They actually put those Normandy barriers to prevent these illegal criminal organizations to be crossing on UTVs and ATVs. This is a huge impact, and the locals out there in the Sunland Park, New Mexico area out of the El Paso sector are beyond ecstatic. Here you can see right on the screen, there is actually a Santísima Muerte, which is a shrine which the cartel and the organized crime pray to right at the border, right in front of the border wall, and they go and make their offerings before they go and cross their narcotics or traffic people into our country. We are dealing with a satanic cult, and I'm very excited and very pleased that this bill was able to pass so that we can continue on the America First agenda and securing our southern border, which is vastly needed, especially in this area.
Anthony, you sent over some pictures that I just thought they were so awful to witness, and I'm sparing our viewers of those pictures today from the crematorium. Bodies stacked up. Just a warning to the people of America just how bad it is. What do you see when you're out there? You're in El Paso right now. What do you actually see specifically? Let's talk about the crematorium where those bodies are still remaining to be stacked up.
Well, there are reports coming out from Ciudad Juarez is directly linked to some of the cartel some of the cartel situation currently down in Ciudad Juarez, they found a total of 383 bodies, and I believe about 150 of them were women, including children, and some unidentified men or women. They just could not tell. They were all stacked up, and they were pretty much molding up in multiple rooms in this particular location. And so this is what we are up against. This is why it was very important for us to be able to secure our southern border and prevent as many criminals with this kind of behavior from spilling into our country. Not only that, they are actually hanging people by bridges, literally hanging them on a noose out by their heads off of the bridges. And I know it's graphic to hear this, but it's something that we must be vocal about because this is right at our doorstep. And here you see the Stryker unit from the military out there, which could view even a mouse up to 5 miles away. This particular weaponry is very important to be out there for our military because it helps Border Patrol be able to do their job a lot better and a lot safer as they're able to see from miles away before people are trying to cross into our country. So it's amazing that we're getting this border wall construction out here in the El Paso sector. What you're seeing right now on the screen is a wall that was previously taken down by the Biden administration, but they could not push back or hide the amount of people that were coming through. So they just re-erected it real just like makeshift. There's a lot of gaps in this particular wall, all whilst the border wall that was supposed to have gone up during the Trump administration sits there right in front of it, pretty much depleting day in, day out in the scorching sun.
Unbelievable. And to hear your stories, or your firsthand account of what's taking place there, an eyewitness account. You know, you talk about the children and the women who are found in these crematoriums, found dead. I mean, it's just disgusting. It's heartbreaking, and I can't even imagine their fear in the last moments of their life whenever they were murdered. And so let's talk about now. Are you seeing a difference now at the border now that President Trump is back in office?
It's a day and night comparison. What we're witnessing out here down on the southern border in general is the energy of the Border Patrol agents. The morale seems to be back. People are actually proud of doing their job. These guys are out there performing at their best. And one thing that I must know is just a couple of weeks ago in this particular area alone, American citizens are actually being kidnapped for extortion. They're being taken into Ciudad Juarez because now that the cartel is missing out on so much money because there's not enough migrants coming through to supplement for some of their losses in their wages, if you want to call it that. They are now kidnapping American citizens, in which even now the FBI has had to get involved in the rescue and the return of these American citizens being taken into Ciudad Juarez, unfortunately. But aside from that, Border Patrol agents are ecstatic. The residents of Sunland Park, New Mexico, where this border wall is going to be erected, are very, very happy as they have pretty much fallen victim to the massive illegal crossings in their own backyard. So, you know, the residents of Sunland Park, New Mexico are very happy with this decision. And it's going to be a great 4th of July, I think, for everybody.
Absolutely it is. Thankfully, that bill passed today for more border security. I was looking at your X account earlier, Anthony. You have a lot of videos on there. Let's give everybody your handle so people can follow you, because you have so much video that you can show people about what's really going on every day at the border. Can you talk about how people can get to your X account?
Absolutely. Anybody that wants to follow on what I am up to and some of the reporting that I am bringing about, they can just go to X at Anthony Aguero _, and you can find all the information on there. Tons of footage and videos from the last 8 to 9 years that I've been focusing on the border full time, literally living in my Jeep at some point just to bring this information forward.
Anthony, so good to have you on. I hope to have you back on soon. I want to talk more about what's going on the border with you, and hopefully we can get you back on soon. Have a very wonderful Independence Day and stay safe wherever you are there on the Texas border.
Likewise. Thank you so much. See you soon.
And when we come back, President Trump is heading to Iowa tonight, and we've got you covered with live coverage. Details on President Trump's kickoff rally to celebrate our country's 250th birthday. That's when we come back.
Swollen limbs, joint pain, inflammation, skin aging, and cognitive decline. These are just a few of the awful side effects that you can experience due to poor blood circulation. And popping ibuprofen is not a solution to the pain. It's only temporary relief, and it's only masking the true problem, which is inflammation. Researchers are saying to add this Antarctic super nutrient to your diet. I'm talking about omega-3 fatty acids, but not just any form of omegas. These particular omega-3 fatty acids are sourced from wild-caught krill. Has been shown to support healthy blood pressure, circulation, brain health, as well as reduce inflammation, swelling, and joint pain. For a limited time, you can grab Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil for up to 66% off plus free shipping. Just go to getkrill.com/Lindell right now to get your special offer. If you want to feel and look your best, you need to check out Pure Health Research. They have 45 premium health supplements that are designed to help you with everyday health goals. Whether it's boosting your energy or trimming belly fat, supporting healthy blood sugar, pumping your testosterone up, or even reducing swelling in your legs, Pure Health Research Supplement Store has you covered. Each formula is crafted with natural, non-GMO ingredients, backed by clinical research and manufactured right here in the USA. And here's the best part. Pure Health Research is offering you an exclusive 35% discount. Just go to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. With their 365-day money-back guarantee, there's nothing to lose. So head over to purehealthresearch.com now, explore their 45 amazing supplements, and save 35% before this deal ends with promo code Lindell.
It's going to be a fun night up north. President Trump is heading to Des Moines, Iowa for a huge rally tonight, and there is all of the information on your screen. He'll be kicking off a series of events to celebrate America's 250th birthday, and we have coverage starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Now, there's a difference here, something new added to Lindell TV on how you can watch. For those wanting regular programming, our daily shows, those will air on Lindell TV and on LindellTV.com. Now, for those of you wanting to watch the rally, we've added a special section for you on our website, LindellTV.com. So go to the website, live news and events, and then you'll see the rally tab. Again, that's LindellTV.com. You'll see the live news and events and the tab for tonight's rally. We're also going to be streaming the rally live on Vocal and on the Vocal app, vocal.com. So again, that's on Vocal, VOCL, the app, and vocal.com, and on LindellTV.com under the live news and events tab. Again, coverage starts at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Can't wait for it. Don't miss it here on Lindell TV. Today's Bible verse for the day comes from the book of Chronicles. It says this: "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and heal their land." I think that's a beautiful verse to start the holiday weekend. And as we head into the weekend, let's just remind you that you can always go to mypillow.com. Lots of sales going on there. My store, as you can see right there, big sales there, supporting our entrepreneurs, our conservative entrepreneurs, new arrivals to my store. If we scroll down, you'll see freedom flags, which are always great, especially for weekends like 4th of July. So go ahead and get yours. The Trump honey is a fan favorite. I think I have about 5 of those in my kitchen and take a spoonful every night before bed. Always great. Lots of products on my store. Again, those companies, those entrepreneurs are all handpicked by Mike Lindell, the best of the best products. So make sure you go to my store and mypillow.com. Also, again, watch the rally tonight on Vocal. That's Mike Lindell's app, VOCL, streaming live starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. America's 250th kickoff. Celebrate our Independence Day with President Trump. He speaks at 7 p.m. Central Time. But again, the coverage starts at 2 p.m. Central Time. So make sure you are tuned in for that. I know he will have a lot to talk about today about how successful his first 6 months have been in office, and also about the big, beautiful bill that was just passed in the House and now is heading to his desk for him to sign off on. So we can't wait to watch that rally tonight. And that'll do it for us here on Spin Ring. We'll have much more at the top of the hour for the Mike Lindell Show. Make sure you're joining us then. In the meantime, his glory is next, and you're watching Lindell TV.
Weekend Warriors.